Welcome back to another video. Today we are in the Open Great League and let's get some wins. So we're going to be using the Talonflame paired with the Serperior and the Azumarill in the back. Fantastically, they switch out into the Pangoro. We're going to have an answer with our Azumarill. We are going to be able to just absolutely wall this thing because they have Night Slash, which is resisted, and they have potentially close combat, which is also resisted. So they're just going to try to either get a boost or try to wait for that timer to reset. They do get the boost, so now we're going to use the Ice Beam here to pressure them. They decide just to let it go and come back in with their Shadow Claw Sand Slash. Shadow Claw is going to be a little bit more efficient against this Azumarill, as it's able to deal some neutral damage. There goes the Jura, barely doesn't take us out, and they are able to get the fire now, which is not great. Ice Punch does get used, but our opponent does have to switch out into the Samurai. We're going to go into the Serperior here. We are just going to try to keep the Serperior quite healthy so that we can apply the pressure. They're going to have to shield anyways. We go for this Aerial Ace again. We do grab that second shield, and now we just have to take out the Samurai, and we see the Sand Slash come back in, so we counter swap. We just shield here because the Incinerate did go through. It's going to take him out, and then we're going to have energy for a move, and we take out the Samurai. So GG start running. Interesting team that they had. They had the Sand Slash Samurai core, which kind of helps against the fire types, but luckily we were able to get the great alignment. All right, we got the Talonflame versus Talonflame matchup. Okay, this is gonna come down to, oh, it looks like we are behind. We are getting a little bit of frame drop, so the opponent does get to get the move off first, unfortunately for us. We're gonna have to shield here so that we can at least potentially grab a shield back or get the KO. Okay, we get the shield back, and now our opponent here is going to catch a move. So Bastiodon does switch in, and we're gonna have to use our Serperior here. The Serperior is going, okay, it's going to try to get through this Bastiodon, or at least get it low enough. We're going to have to fire off this Frenzy Plant here. Okay, it does some good neutral damage. I would say 15%, maybe 20% actually. And we're going to be able to go into our Azumarill here, and we're going to tank this move. Unfortunately, couldn't get the farm round. That would have been huge to snipe that energy. We see the Medicham in the back, so Azumarill with some energy is really favorable for us. We go for the play rub. They decide to shield that, and they have energy for a Psychic. There's a Psychic, so we do show the correct move. They switch out into the Talonflame. We can farm down, and now we have energy for another play rub. Huge play up goes through, gets into the low red, and they have no choice but to try to farm us down. But we are going to try to take them out with a Ice Beam. So GG's to our opponent, able to win that game. Even though we had a move caught against that Bastiodon. All right, really good lead here. Our opponent does switch out into the Marowak. We are going to switch into the Azumarill. As you can see right here, we're doing some good fast move pressure, but they're going to be able to get to these targets quite quickly. 2 Bone Clips already gets us into the low yellow. We're going to the fire off the Ice Beam. If they didn't shield that, it would have been an undercharge to potentially farm down. Here we're going to shield this Ice Beam, and we're going to either get the shield or get the KO. We see the Sand Slash come back in. We're just trying to chip away. We're trying to get to potential 1 Incinerate farm down range. From here, it doesn't quite get enough, but we need 1 more Incinerate. We tank this Ice Punch. They switch out into Starmie. Starmie is going to be interesting. They are going to be able to fire off a move here. Power Gem does get used. We just got to make sure we get to 2 moves. So we're going to fire off this Arrow Ace here. It's only neutral, but you can see they did have to shield anyways. We'd go for another Arrow Ace and we get the farm down. We see the Sandslash come back in, and unfortunately for them, they do not have 2 moves, and we are going to be able to win that game. All right, next game. Let's see what we find. So we have the main core of Talonflame and Serperior. Those are just kind of complementary, and then Azumarill kind of as general safe swap. They go into the Feraligatr. We're going to have to go into our Serperior here. A little bit behind on energy, so we are going to try to wiggle through out of this situation. Arrow Ace does get used. We get the shield back, and our opponent here threw the Hydro first, and then it's going to throw the Ice Beam. So we do show the correct Ice Beam. We're going to overfarm just a tad, and going for this Arrow Ace doesn't quite KO, but this should only be the Hydro. Okay, we can survive that. And now we see the Clockster, so we switch out into the Talonflame, anticipating and hoping they only running Sludge Bomb. No, bad call. We get met with a Stone Edge to the face, and now we're in a tough spot. We are going to have to tank the Hyper Fang here. Our opponent is going to be able to outpace us, so we're going to fire off this player up, do some good neutral damage. Should be another Hyper Fang. Yep, there's an additional Hyper Fang. We do survive it, thankfully. We got to get to this Ice Beam, and we see the Clockstar come back in. And this Clockstar is going to be able to win the game for them. Unfortunately for us, we try to make a hero call and go into the Clockstar Talonflame matchup, hoping that they run Sludge Bomb. Mainly because they switched out. And I was hoping that was a clue that they did not have the Stone Edge. But next game, we got the Great Leap. They switch out into their Wigglytuff. Wigglytuff is not an answer to this Talonflame, so we're going to ramp up our energy here. Our opponent does elect to throw a move. Icy Wind does get used. Pretty good neutral damage. Gets us debuffed. They go back into their Azumarill, and we're going to try to punch them with our Serperior. One shield does get used right here. Our opponent does elect to throw a move. Ice Beam gets used. We don't quite need this Serperior anymore. It's already done its job, surprisingly enough. Go for this Frenzy Hunt to get this Sandslash into about the 50% mark. We're going to fire off this Flame Charge. It does grab the shield, and now our Incinerates are boosted. Still don't think it's going to take it out from this range. Yeah, we still need one more Incinerate. Our opponent does elect to fire off another Ice Punch, but we're just going to farm down with the Azumarill. Now we have energy for the own Azumarill for the win. So GG's third opponent. Check out this team if you haven't already, and let us know if you enjoyed the video.